Splendid. So welcome everybody to the April 6th, 2011 in California, April 7th, 2011 in Malaysia, and the rest of East Asia who have already crossed over to the next day to our strategy roundtable. This is our 77th strategy roundtable, and we've been doing this for a while, and I'm incredibly pleased to welcome all our friends in Malaysia. We are announcing a major partnership with MAD Incubator in Malaysia, who is co-hosting this event today. It's actually a live event with people in the MAD Incubator office. We've been working with MAD for a little while now, about a year almost, to make this 1 million by 1 million mission successful. Now, you know that the 1 million by 1 million mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue. This is a very, very large, very comprehensive, very ambitious, very audacious initiative. And it would only be successful if our partners around the world step up to the plate and do their part and kick their ecosystems in gear. And we want to support your efforts on the ground with a virtual set of resources to supplement your efforts. So this is this announcement today with the partnership with MAD Incubator is one of the first that we are announcing with an incubator, and it's a comprehensive partnership with the charter of doing entrepreneurship development for the entire region. So I know a lot of the leaders of the Malaysian entrepreneurship ecosystem are present in the MAD Incubator offices today. So welcome all of you. You'll get a flavor today of how we work with entrepreneurs in these public roundtables. And then I'll also tell you more about the program and the various resources that we have been able to bring together for the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and how we might be able to supplement your efforts as we go along. So just before we get going, I'm thrilled to welcome MAD Incubator and the Malaysian leadership on board to the 1 million by 1 million program. And I'm looking forward to today's session with the Malaysian entrepreneurs. Now, some of you may be live tweeting this session, as we see in most of our roundtables. Please use the hashtag 1M1M if you're live tweeting. And from MAD, if you're live tweeting from the MAD offices, make sure you use the hashtag 1M1M so that all the other people who are live tweeting this show can retweet your tweets. So you'll get an amplification of the message. So everybody on the call who are on a computer right now, feel free to live tweet the announcement, which is also on the blog. This webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be made available. So if you want to share this recording with anybody and everybody around your friends, peers, family, other entrepreneurs, please feel free to do that. So our first presenter is Alvin Yuan, and the company is ISA Innovation from Kuala Lumpur. So Alvin, if you could come on the line, and I will drive your slides. I will give you a signal.
Hi.
I will give you. We have an echo. Somebody is causing.
Is there an echo right now?
Yes, I think there's still an echo from the bad line. View room support, do you have any?
Yeah, we are trying to mute them.
Sramana, can you hear us?
Yeah, we are trying to mute them.
So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Can you
You
hear
are
us
ready.
well?
I need a signal from view room. Just
Alvin, can you mute yourself once?
I didn't get that. Can you repeat that?
Mute yourself completely. Can you mute yourself?
Yeah.
Did you mute it?
Okay, I was muted earlier. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can
Okay.
hear you all right, but it's
Alvin, can you mute yourself in the computer?
I can't hear myself from the computer, no. There's no echo on my end. Did you just mute?
No, you are not echoing, but we are echoing. You are causing my line to echo.
Alvin, we would require you to mute your computer.
Alvin, we need you to mute your line to be able to run this right.
Okay, so mute our speaker. Okay, hold on. Let me see how to do this. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, we've turned down the volume side. If everything's okay now, can you, Sramana?
Yes. Can you hear me now? Alice, can you tell me on private chat whether you can hear me or not?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And there's no echo. Super. So Alvin, it's your turn to present. So go ahead and tell us what you're doing, and I'll try to keep it short so that we have time to actually have an interactive discussion.
Okay. Okay. So slide 1, there's me on the board. I'm from ISA Innovation, and today what I want to do is to present our product called Just Samit. It's a business application meant for business organizations. It's an asset management tool to manage IT assets. Just Samit stands for the SAM word stands for Software Asset Management, and it's a hosted asset management system, fully web-based, and it's on the cloud. Our target market are small and medium businesses who don't have the capacity to buy or maintain their own asset management system, as well as large organizations that are connected globally. There are many organizations that operate globally that cannot use traditional asset management tools. So these are the people that we're trying to reach out to.
Okay.
Next slide, please. So we've done some ROI on this, and we feel that there is a huge potential because we're looking at an investment of a subscription of $12 per PC per year. So for a 200 PC organization, that's considered fairly small and mid-sized organization here in Malaysia. The price is about $2,400. But when we look at the returns, and these are fairly conservative and believable returns, the returns are very phenomenal over a 1-year period. Okay, our target market are for organizations that want to be able to improve their productivity by reducing usage of games, reducing manual audits that are done in many organizations today, as well as to mitigate the risk of software piracy and license compliance in their organization. This system is now ready and launched. Next slide, please. Next, yeah. So we did a public launch yesterday, and there's been some press on it. If anyone in the audience today would like to take a look at that, I'll be happy to send you the link. We've got 10 pilot organizations that have signed up, including one multinational organization. They are an NGO that operates out of about 1,000 locations in about 100 countries around the world. So it's proven technology and it works right now. And we've been running this pilot since January this year.
Okay. And Alvin, just a question quickly. When you're talking about managing the assets on a desktop, are you taking control of the desktop? Are you remotely taking control of the desktop to do that?
No, we are not. It's purely an asset management system, not a desktop management system. So it maintains an inventory of hardware and software, and it allows organizations to do comparisons with the licenses that they've purchased to maintain warranty and leasing agreements with the people that buy. So it's asset management, not desktop management.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of the challenges that we face as an organization, we have been in the market providing professional services to organizations, enterprise organizations. So this is more of a volume and larger market sale. So we'd like to get some assistance on that and how we can do this better. This is also something that is relevant in the region and globally, and we're not used to that kind of marketing. So I think as part of the question I'd like to pose to the audience today is what kind of assistance you can give us for that. One thing I'd like to find out, from the audience who have got experience with cloud-based services. Cloud-based services have got this issue with privacy because cloud applications host data and keep your customers' data. So how do we ensure? How do we convince customers that what we're doing is secure and will eventually maintain their privacy? Well, that's my 3-minute spiel. There are some slides after this, Sramana.
Let me start answering your questions. Can you do me a favor? I'm going to answer your questions. If you could mute your line in the meantime, that would be great, because I think we still have a little bit of an echo from your line. So while I'm doing most of the talking, it'll be better if you can tone that down. So let me take your questions one by one. So you want to sell into the global small and mid-sized markets. We need to do some serious comparative analysis to understand the dynamics of the different markets that you're going to be selling into. So every market that you can't enter every single market. We have to pick and choose which markets you enter based on analysis of each of those individual markets. Like if I could tell you that, yeah, let's bring this product into the US, but before we make that decision, we need to do a thorough comparative analysis of the US market. Now, the kind of service that you're proposing to offer for $12 per computer, let's say, or per user, per seat, what is the price of that particular service today in the US market? We need to understand that level of comparative analysis and pricing details and so on and so forth before we make the decision of which markets should you go after. You cannot boil the ocean. One of the philosophies of 1 million by 1 million, and I'm going to talk about this in the methodology section of today's presentation, and I would like you to pay attention to that. But in general, we don't believe in spray and pray. We believe in going very systematically, step by step, and in a very focused way. So all of that positioning groundwork needs to be done. You can learn all that positioning work in the 1 million by 1 million premium program. I'm going to tell you more about that as well after I'm done working with you in the presentations, but we have a whole module on positioning which you're going to need to digest, internalize, and implement on your business. The next piece you're asking about is marketing, how to market this solution in a global manner. Now, given the price point you're operating at, most likely this is a product that needs to be sold by phone. So we have a whole module again in the premium program to teach you what we call Sales 2.0, which is a combination of telephone and web-based selling. And we have a 7-step selling process that we can teach you through the premium program. I would like you to internalize that program and then implement it to sell your product. We need to do positioning first and then develop your go-to-market strategy based on that. And based on the go-to-market strategy that we develop, we then need to put together the Sales 2.0 program to bring this product to market. So that's my answer to your first two questions. You have a question here about providing free services. I don't really recommend it. It's a lot of, it's a lot of resources to commit to providing free services to all companies. And I don't really think it is necessary for you to do that. And it's just going to eat up resources. And you can't really afford to do that at this stage of your evolution. Now, cloud-based services actually definitely in the US, in Europe, and in a number of geographies, actually, cloud-based services are quite trusted. So I think the questions that you need to answer is, where are you hosting these services? If you host in a credible place like the Amazon EC3 server or something like that, infrastructure as a service provider, that is a trusted, branded service provider, I don't think people are going to raise these questions very much. At least at this point, if you, we run this series on my blog called Thought Leaders in Cloud Computing. If you go through that series, you'll see that this is not really a barrier to adoption right now. People are quite comfortable with having the data on the cloud, as long as you provide enough service level agreements. So you're going to have to develop the right service level agreements to assure your clients that you are providing the right kind of backup and the right kind of intrusion detection and vulnerability management and so on and so forth. As long as you're doing those things and those are protected by service level agreements, this should not be a problem. So, and in terms of getting a business partner to take you to market in a global manner, again, we do from 1 million by 1 million premium, we develop channel partnerships for you. But before we decide on what channel partners would be appropriate for you, we first need to do the positioning, the go-to-market strategy, and then figure out what channel partners would make sense. Okay? So that's all for Alvin. Alvin, please listen to the methodology section of the presentation also to give you a bit more guidance that you can work with even prior to the premium program. But most of the questions that you're asking would be tackled amply if you go through the premium curriculum. We're going to move on from this one. All right, the next presenter is MathQuest. And the presenter is, what do I call you? You have a very long name, Muhammad Hezri Amir bin Abdul Latif and Muhammad Noor Alif bin Alui. So these are very long names to. What would you like me to call you?
Hello, hi. Hello.
Hello. Go ahead. It's your turn to present, so come online. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. It's your
Hello, can
turn
you
to
hear me?
present. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Clear. All right. Hello, Sramana. It's been a great pleasure to be here with you. Okay, my name is Hezri. You can call me Hezri from the long name. All right. Okay. I'm from Media Interactive, and I'm here not to sound all good, but I would more likely to seek your advice and guidance in terms of helping me to get through in the eye of the needle, basically, for my company situation. And I believe you are the expert in that field, whereby you can come up with a strategy within a limited resources. So I believe you are the best person to put me in there. So, okay, to come to our company, basically our company is in the business of game development, and we are specializing in the educational games. So we hope to develop. We have developed game for other companies as well, and for our own game, which is we call it Mass Quest. Okay. We position ourselves as an entertainment solution provider to help children improve their academic performance, and as well as in a fun and immersive way, such as through the games. So we have this idea, Mass Quest. It starts during my university years. From at the start when I was developing my final year project. Then when I come to idea of combining education and games. So I believe that during my final year project research, I found that there's a declination in terms of student academic performance throughout the world, especially in the subject of mathematics and also science. Therefore, I believe that if I can and I also realized that it happened to be a problem by many people, especially for teachers and parents, on how to motivate and encourage their children to learn about these two subjects, especially mathematics. And I see that there is a problem need to be addressed now. So that's why I developed a Math Quest. It's a game to teach primary school students about mathematics, and it is targeted to age 9 to 12 years old. And then this game is different from other product on the market because it adopts a role-playing game, RPG game, if we call it, similar to like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy type of game, whereby it's hard to see that kind of game in the market that teach something like educational. Therefore, this concept can make, when combined with education, it can make learning more fun and exciting. Let me tell a bit about role-playing game. This game, you assume a character inside the game where it is your avatar and you live with it. And in the world, in the virtual world, you will be having a lot of quests and adventure in order for you to proceed in the storyline of the game. And then when this quest and adventure, we can implement a mathematics problem solving so that the characters, the player, the kids can learn and try to solve the problem posed to them, and they will get reward on that. As well as a third point, reward-based learning, whereby this can somehow improvise the way the kids learn from the normal conventional way where they need to just do exercises after exercises. But right now they can get reward such as experience points, cards, score and stars, and so on, and terms. So we have been collaborating with University of Petronas for the research part of the game. And here, after 1 year development, we have come up with the Math Quest in the form of online and also offline. So, for offline, we have launched it during the Math Adventure 2010, last year. And we have been selling right now for the CD version of the game. It is
How many have you sold?
Of 8 games. For now, for the 3 months right now, it's 400 units sold. Throughout the schools and throughout the exhibitions that we attend. Okay, as for online, it's still in the phase of improvisation, and it's a beta stage whereby we test it to the players, and we hope that we can produce a MMO RPG version, massive multiplayer online role-playing version, here this year. And then that's the two of our products drivers. Another one is we develop a fun math camp. And Math Quest Challenge, whereby we do a competition about the game Math Quest to schools. And right now we have planning to take on one school every month.
So for the school itself, we can generate some income based on the sale of the CD.
Yep.
Okay, move on to the next. Okay. So we are talking about, we have 3 phases of our company growth, whereby right now we are in the acceleration phase, whereby we'll be focusing on our country itself, Malaysia, and then we move on to the escalation and expansion to the global world. So right now in Malaysia, we have 3 million something students and approximately 30,000 students enrolled every year. So in here, if we go about doing the way that we do right now, which is through exhibition, through schools, and so on, we we expect to get 30,000 users by the end of the 1 year sales for the Malaysian only. And if we combine with the online, the offline, and also the camp, then we think that for the projection for 1 year sale, from that one, we think we should be able to reach 1 million target for the end of the year. So our method of acquisition of customer is basically through the promoting the social media, through the Facebook and from the camp itself. The camp itself can, we believe that it can somehow develop into a community of kids where they learn about mathematics from Math Quest. Okay, so move on. Okay, so the summary is we believe that our product has a high educational value to students because on how it is being presented and graphically in terms of storyline and so on. So it believes to have a potential of global market when we have reached certain strength, and then it also shows that upcoming education trend where there's 20% growth worldwide. From my research, show that parents the world not really stringent in terms of paying for educational products, and it is better that it is second to welfare of their children, the expenditure for education. So there's a huge potential in that, whereby we come up with the idea of revolutionizing the way education being delivered to children. So right now we are in the funding for stage because we are developing the game for 1 level. For your information, it is for the first civilization of Vikingdom, and then for Vikingdom it's only about numbers. As the game move on, they will have in total 7 civilization. Each civilization will teach the children about continuous from numbers is fraction, decimal, measurement, and so on until they complete their syllabus in education. So that's what we target. We want to develop a total of 7 civilizations in Math Quest game. Okay.
So I suggest you, Hezri, you go unmute, and I'm going to react to your presentation and give you some pointers. But since it's causing the echo, I don't want you to stay. I would rather you muted and listened. You would be able to listen better. So you're absolutely right. Edutainment is a very big opportunity. However, there is lots of activity going on in this space as well. So again, we need to do some comparative analysis to understand what other math games. I've seen other math games, role-playing games, and so on and so forth, coming online. Especially using these social media characteristics and so forth. So one of the issues you have is your first game is on a CD-ROM. And the fact that the CD-ROM is selling in the Malaysian market is very good news, because that is part of what is going to give you some of the funding to do the additional development needed. But I'd like to understand a lot more of your product strategy, and not only me, actually, you need to understand a lot more of your product strategy in terms of precise positioning, because the 9 to 12 age group is a broad band, and what exactly are you teaching in the game, and what syllabus does it align with in terms of if you want to sell through the teachers and so forth, it kind of needs to align with certain school curriculum and syllabus, and that again needs to align with the geography in which you would be selling. So I assume that you have done some of this analysis for the Malaysian market, and you're aligning with the Malaysian syllabus. But these are all questions that need to be answered in figuring out your go-to-market strategy. Now, if you want to go global, again, that has its own, there are certain challenges and there are certain advantages. In the in the US market and in a lot of markets right now, the iPad is becoming a major tool, I guess, a device that lots of kids have access to. Lots of families have access to iPads, the kids are using iPads and so on and so forth. So conceivably you could go to market through that iPad channel. You could also go through, we have a number of channels into the education market. In 1 million by 1 million premium, actually we have other relationships in the education market as well, through which we can bring you to market even in the US or global schools. But there needs to be a substantial amount of product positioning and product works before we can bring you there. So I think you're in terms of what you need to do immediately is to really get a handle on some of those issues, like the competitive positioning, like the which segment, which syllabus, which country, all these issues need to be tackled before we can decide on what channel to put you through. Now, in terms of funding, again, our philosophy, and you're going to hear about this in the methodology section, is to bootstrap as much of the early stages as possible. So I would need to understand your financials as far as your, the kinds of, saying you can sell 50,000 units through your current channel. What kind of revenue does that amount to? How much of the cost does it cover? And what else can we do to sell the product that you've currently developed, the CD-ROM product, to give you some of that seed funding through customer money as opposed to investor money. And then, as you have a more developed business plan, and we will work with you to do that, then we can go to investors. But based on what you've presented so far, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to go to investors based on the CD-ROM product alone. This is just my gut feeling, because right now, all the investors are looking for social media products and mobile app kind of products. So now you're coming into the market with a CD-ROM product. This is not going to be as compelling for investors. However, because you have that product may be a very good strategy for us to get you going with some seed capital that comes through sales. So this is a financial engineering and strategic maneuvering that we're going to have to work through. So there's a whole lot of stuff that you need to digest again through the premium lounge, and then I'll work with you to figure out what's the right strategy for you to move forward. Okay. If you have questions, just hold your questions for the time being, since we have 3 other presenters to go through, and after we are done with the presentations, I'm going to open up the line for more Q&A. Okay. Next presenter is Van Connected. Igamer.
Yeah,
and the presenter is Yong Wai. Yong, please come online and present your business plan.
Okay. Hi, Sramana. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm Jerry. First of all, I want to thanks for giving me an opportunity to discuss with you. Okay. Can I have the next? Okay. So actually, what iGamer actually provided a gaming platform for the gamers, which we are naming under as a Van Connected. So we are targeting the internet cafes and the gamers in Southeast Asia actually. So what the service that we provide is we link all the gamers to play LAN game together throughout Malaysia currently. For the online virtual games items trading system, that will be included trading module, bidding module, and renting module, which we will be developed in coming future. So other than that, we will also involve the game listing, which allow the users, the gamers, to just select the games and it will automatically download it and install to their PC. And of course, with the communication system, which they're able to message and VIP in group or in personal PNC. Okay. So other than that, the automated tournament system and also the event system will be developed for the gamers so that they're able to register through online, and the schedule or the league schedule will be automatically arranged for them. So they have to, according to the time and the date that have been set for them to log in to challenge each other. Okay. So, and of course for the advertisement module as well. Okay. We are actually providing gamers with gaming community to achieve convenience, fulfillment of entertainment needs and connectivities, and which refer to the chart below. We having some strength in this market with one of the competitors named Garena. So we are better than them in terms of security, online tournament system, game listing, and also we are selling the game points for the gamers, which the gamers can buy the game points through our channel. Online game virtual items trading system. Okay, so these are the strengths we have. And slide, please. Okay, thanks. Okay, iGamer actually we are established in June 2007, and we commercialized this product in January 2008. So currently we're having 15,000 PC connected, or nearly 250 outlets of internet cafe connected with using our service. So we are preparing to expand our business to the Southeast Asia market. Okay, next slide.
Now, do you have any games that are being that are being developed on this platform yet?
We have not developed any games, but we have developed application to enhance the features to let the gamers they can communicate, they can do extra which don't provided by the games actually.
But
so
how
there
did
will
you
be some
how did you penetrate the internet cafes? What are the internet cafes? How do you know that you run this internet cafes, and why are the internet cafes bringing you in?
Okay. We actually we already in that business, and we provide such service to link up them together so the gamers can go to internet cafe and use our service. Like they can play the LAN game without boundaries. So from the state in south, they can play with the state in the north side. So instead of they are only play within the internet cafe or the local area network only.
Okay. So I'm going to give you some feedback on my impression of bringing a platform product to market. You know, I've been in the computer industry for a long time, in the IT industry, and I think as a rule, most companies who try to go to market just with a platform without an application have not been successful. So I have some reservations about your going to market just on a platform. The fact that you have a platform is great, but I think you need at least one game on that platform to bring you onto the consumers and start developing a user base, and then you can start bringing third-party developers who develop games on your platform. But until you're able to showcase the advantages and benefits of your platform, I'm not quite sure how you're going to attract the game development community. Because game developers have lots of options of developing games on Facebook. They will go build Facebook games. They will go build games on other networks. Why would they build games on your platform? I'm not convinced about this value proposition. folks, the line is echoing. If you could please mute your, I think some of you who are listening, who are actually presenting, have also opened passive participant links. As a result, you're causing the line to echo. So all the entrepreneurs who are speaking, please mute your computer's volume while talking on the audio bridge. You should only be speaking on the audio bridge and your computer should be muted. So anybody in the room in Mad Incubator, if your computer is, if you've opened a passive participant link, please make sure your computer is on mute, otherwise we'll continue to have this echo problem. All right. So going back to the platform versus application discussion, there's a company that just released a very big game called Rift. You may have seen this. The company is Tryon Network, Tryon Game Network, I think. And it's a massively multiplayer game platform, and I believe they actually have the intention of opening that platform out to third-party game developers as well. But to start with, they have released a game of their own, and that game is Rift. So I think if you trace the history of platforms, whatever platform we are talking about, you will see that people have to bring that platform to market with an application that shows off the capabilities of that platform. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's
Go ahead.
sorry?
You need to mute.
Okay.
You need to mute.
You need to mute.
Yeah, read that.
You need to mute your computer and mute your bridge.
Okay. So my question is, okay, we currently based on the subscription to get our revenue. So, what is the most effective way to change our income stream from subscription to microtransaction due to limited of cash flow? Is it the funding? Is the only way, or any suggestion from you?
You see, you're not at a stage where you will get any funding. The current stage of your company is not a fundable stage. I cannot in good faith recommend this company to any investor because you don't have a go-to-market strategy. And what is your current income stream? What subscriptions are you selling?
Actually, we are link all the internet cafe together, and we charge them according to fee per PC subscription. So we are planning to change the revenue stream to focus on a trading and bidding system, which will allow the online games gamers they able to trade or bid or renting the items, the online games item, outside from the game in terms of inside the game.
No,
so
I don't understand. You need to mute you really need to mute your computer. Otherwise, like, we cannot have a conversation. The thing that I don't understand is what subscription are you selling today? Do you have any subscribers? Do you actually have people paying you today?
Yes, it is. We currently have around 15,000 PC of subscription. They are paying us.
What are they subscribing to?
They subscribe us to link up with together to join our network. Okay, so that their customer, which means those gamers, they able to play local area network games through our platform without boundaries for the whole nation.
Platform? That was my question. Do you have any gamers who have already developed games on your platform that you're able to push to the subscribers?
We don't have any games, but we are support the games which is currently already in the market. So we provide we're doing back-end technology to link up the internet cable together. When the gamers they want to play that particular game, though actually they will automatically link together and they can play together. So we don't develop games, but we operate the network.
I see. So I have to understand your game's architecture better. But I think based on what I understand so far, you've got a bunch of PCs at different cyber cafes linked up to play certain existing games together using your platform. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And in that case, if there are microtransactions inside of the game, those microtransactions are happening on the original game publisher's network, right? The microtransactions can only happen with the game transactions, with the game publishers.
Yes, but for currently we are supporting local area network games, which is don't have any microtransaction issue indeed. So we are migrating our business direction to online games, which will involve a lot of microtransaction, which means the online games gamers, they will buy items or trade items or renting items in the games. But for currently online games, they are only allowed to trade items in the games. So we are planning to develop another soft application which allow the online games gamers, they can rent the items, or they can bid the items or trading the items outside from the online game. So we are doing such a platform to link up to allow other all the online games, they can integrate with our platform. We to earn whenever the online games gamer they are doing transaction, then we will earn some commission from them.
Yeah, this is what you're asking. The questions you're asking are fairly complex business model questions, and I have two more presenters to handle in the next roughly about 15 minutes. So we can't keep going, but I think roughly speaking, I would say if you are getting subscription revenues, and it seems like you are able to sell subscription revenues, I would keep that subscription revenue flow going and then work out these details of the rest of the business model, whether it's microtransaction, licensing, platform integration, and so on and so forth, by using that revenue. And once you figure out what that business is going to look like and the business model is going to look like, and I'll be happy to work with you to figure out how that business model will evolve, but I need more time to do that. Then I would try to raise funding. Right now, given the stage your business is in, and given the kinds of questions you're asking and the kinds of questions that are still open, I think this is a company that's going to be difficult to fund at this stage. Okay, we can talk more. If you decide to join the premium program, we can work more on this, and I'll be happy to help you further. But for the moment, my guidance is do not lose the subscription revenue stream. If you've got a subscription revenue stream going, make sure that you invest in building that subscription revenue that subscription revenue stream, so that money is available to you to build the rest of your business. Don't cut the stream and jump to try to experiment with microtransactions. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, sir. Okay.
Okay. Next presenter. Apps Asia is the company. And Darren Fang is the entrepreneur.
Yes, Darren. The name of the company is not Apps Asia. The name of the company is Conrad Mobilogy. The name of the product is Apps Asia.
Sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
Got it.
Okay.
So what we do is that we are a mobile development company. We develop applications for the Apple, iOS, Android, BlackBerry, and Java. And the product that I'm going to discuss today is Apps Asia. So what is Apps Asia? It's basically a platform for business owners to go up to create apps to have a mobile presence. Well, in the 90s, most businesses are rushing to create a website for themselves to have the web presence. But today, people are on the move, and mobile is gaining the momentum. What we provide is a portal for businesses to go up, create the apps that they want to have depending on what kind of business that they are in. No programming language or skills needed. So that's the platform, that's the kind of service that we provide. And this product is actually compatible for the 4 platforms that I mentioned earlier, and inclusive of mobile web as well. What is the customer value proposition? Well, we help to make the businesses make known of their products and services information anytime and anywhere as mobile apps on the mobile platforms. There's no development fees. It's on a subscription model. Can I have the next slide, please? What is the current business development? We have been in beta version since November last year. We wanted to release it actually early this year, but it's to June. Now, the challenge that we faced is initially we wanted this application or this platform to have a scalability. That means to put it on the web, generate the traffic, so businesses could actually go in, subscribe to this service, create their own apps. But from our last 3 months or last couple of months in the market, we realized it is not so suitable in Malaysia for the time being, because this initiative is carried out by the marketing department. Now they do not surf into the internet to see what such services are available in the market, but more we need to be present with the marketing department to present to them that this is available, so they can do this. And most of the time they say, hey, I would rather you convert it into an app for us rather than they doing it themselves. That's one challenge that we have. Now, the issues that I would like to seek clarification is which direction should we go forward? The model that we have, where we go to the individual client, present to them, we get them on board. That is proven. That is very much proven. We have a few good clients, prominent clients in Malaysia, quite known. But on the other hand, we have the challenge of scalability. The time to acquire is long because we need to go and present. We need to go and talk to each client before they come on board. Compared to the scalability, if we put it on the web, people subscribe it to it automatically. That's the challenge that we have.
And what kind of business applications are you developing, and what do they pay you for that? How much, like for developing one business application, how much do you get paid?
Well, it really depends on the features, but I would say it's about 5,000 ringgit per company.
And how many clients do you have?
We have 50 on board at the moment.
And given your cost structure, how much of that cost structure is being covered by this revenue that you're generating right now?
Cost structure in... I do not get the question very clearly.
Your cost structure, your company's cost structure, how expenses basically. How much of the expenses that you have, your payroll, your other expenses, how much of it is being covered by the revenue that you're generating?
We generated from the past couple of sales, we generated of about 300,000, and it's about 20% positive.
So you are profitable?
Yes, we are.
That's very good news. Okay, that's a very, very good starting point for the rest of this discussion.
But the challenge is scalability. It's low scalability at the moment. How could I put it on the web and generate 1 million users in 1 year?
Yeah, no, I understand that, but you have to also think about potentially some different channels of how to bring this product to market. I think part of the issue that you have is that your customer, the marketing department, it looks like you're selling to the marketing department of the organization, yes?
Yes.
The marketing department is not going out looking for platforms to build applications on.
No.
Right?
They're not tech savvy.
So the question is, who is looking for the market, on behalf of the marketing department, who is looking for platforms to build applications on. Potentially the advertising agencies are. So you may need
but the advertising agencies take a big cut from your share.
Yeah, all channel partners take a big cut from your shares. You can't have the cake and eat it too. You can't use other people's channels and not give them a cut. But if you have relationships with 20 ad agencies, you get a certain volume of business without your having to do the individual selling. And that is the benefit of a channel. We are very much in favor of using other people's channels.
Another concern that I have going in using other people's channel is because we actually have had agency coming to, ask to work together with us. But in most cases, the advertising agency will want the businesses to be known as, this is an initiative by them. And then our company will left black in the out. So people will not know that this is a product from ourselves. Now, in the long term, maybe today where the competence in the market is low, right? We could go this way in order to acquire a lot of customers. But in the long run, by not making known that these services is from the company, when the advertising agency had the opportunity of upcoming companies who are able to provide such services, then we will lose out. Not now, maybe 2 or 3 years time.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. I think. Can you mute your computer, please? I don't agree with that at all. I think the problem with selling to the audience that you're trying to sell to, the marketing organization, is that marketing organizations don't do software development. It's just not something they do, and it's something that they will never do. The kind of applications you're talking about is being all around the world. This is not just in Malaysia, it's all around the world. This is a kind of application that is being developed by advertising agencies, by interactive marketing agencies. That's a name, that is a specific class of advertising agencies that have come about that are developing these kinds of applications. And I think, given the product that you've developed, your best go-to-market strategy is to really lock up that entire channel of advertising agencies, interactive marketing agencies all around the world, so that everybody around the world, all the advertising agencies, interactive marketing agencies around the world start using your product. Now, there is a caveat to this. You haven't said anything about what is the competition for this particular capability. So I have not seen the competitive positioning and the competitive analysis for your offering. That's something we need to look at. But from a strategy point of view, given the product that you've developed, I think trying to bypass the advertising agencies and going to the marketing organization is never going to yield success, because you're going against the grain of how those businesses operate. Okay? We can talk more if you decide to mute, please.
Mute.
We can talk more if you decide to join the premium program. I need to do one more presentation, one more entrepreneur presentation before we move on to the methodology section and the broader discussion. So Tech Sailor, Wayne Chia, would you please come online?
Hi, Sramana. Pleasure being here. I'm Wayne. Yeah, I'm Wayne from Tech Sailor, and we provide online customer engagement solutions to brands and organizations. We are currently operating in 3 countries, Malaysia, Singapore, and China. So just to give a quick rundown of what we term as engagement, is basically 2 things that Tech Sailor do, and we have been focusing on for the past 2 years. I think it's easier for me to just run it through as a simple illustration. Let's say your website is a house. Now, you like customers to come to this house, but it's a pretty complicated online world out there, and customers find it difficult to come to your house, or rather to find it. So, however, you do know your target customers exist in large numbers on certain platforms. Let's say they are like a bus terminal, like Facebook. So what we want to do is to build roads and buses to your house. And these roads and buses are like your Facebook pages, your quizzes, your applications, your games, your campaigns. So what we want to do is to get them on board on your house, onto your bus, and bus them over to your house. So that's the first thing we do, social media outreach. It's the services portion of the business. On to the second portion, when they are at your house, sorry, can you go back to the previous slide? Okay, so that's the first thing we do. The second thing we do, which a lot of businesses find it difficult to understand still, is the moment people come to your website, now that's where the real difficulty starts, because how do you keep them engaged? A lot of businesses are building their websites like art galleries. You go in, nice to see, but nothing to do. So what happens within 50 seconds, which is the average time the person spends on a website, I tune out and I switch off. And that's the end of it. So what we did was we actually built a product so that brands and organizations not only build websites, but they actually are able to deploy full-fledged customer communities where users can interact on. So this is the product side of the business. And this, why do you actually need this portion? Because you realize that at the end of the day, any client or any acquisition you do on Facebook, on Twitter, or LinkedIn, they belong to Facebook, not you. So it's only when your customers are on your own online ads that do they truly belong to you. And that's the value proposition or the problem that we're trying to solve for our clients. Next slide. Okay, so there are just three very simple value propositions we had in mind when we built out this product. The first one is it's fast enough to deploy. We realized at the end of the day why a lot of off-the-shelf software don't work is because if you're a brand, you are very, very picky about how the look and feel of it is like. So we build it such that you can customize the look and feel however you like, and that's always the bottleneck for any project. And once the design is up, we can do a full campaign rollout in 3 to 4 weeks. I know this may sound a little bit long, but compared to a lot of how marketing agencies are doing it now, it takes up to 3 to 4 months. Now the second thing is we want the user behavior on the site to be measurable. Believe it or not, a lot of microsites today don't really do much. You don't measure exactly. So what we do is we help you measure who are the active people, the loyal people, and the influential people. The key influencers are who you really want. And because we build features on the site that allows users to log in really quickly using their Facebook account, all the names, emails, even their profile photos are recorded. So that makes things really easy. Now the last value proposition we have in mind is, let's say you use our product, ETSCC, for a campaign rollout. What happens when 6 months later when your campaign ends? Most brands will just terminate the microsite, right? But in this case, you are able to harvest the entire user database and you reuse it for your next campaign. And now that you have identified who are your key influencers from your previous campaign, you can make them your advocates for your upcoming campaign. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to talk really quick about who our customers and channels today. We have kind of, over the past few years, we realized that our clients primarily come from 3 different baskets or 3 industry verticals. The first one will be tourism. More specifically, we're looking at emerging tourism, maybe Sri Lanka, Cambodia, and they have a mid-sized budget. Any bigger, they won't be coming to us, they will be working with people like Ogilvy. And we also work, the other segment would be FMCG or consumer goods that are thinking of building out a brand or an experiential campaign, probably a product launch or an event launch. The last one will be pharmaceuticals, but to be even more specific, we are talking about consumer healthcare or companies that provide your vitamins and supplements. So I kind of give some examples of our clients with our logos there. Now, as much as we like to sell directly to these clients, we find that it's still relatively difficult, so we work with channels. For example, ad networks and news agencies like CNN and CNBC. What happens is we do a partnership. We provide the online portion, the entire online engagement campaign, and CNN and CNBC sells the ads. So it becomes a full-fledged campaign. Similarly, for PR agencies, they provide the online messaging, the positioning, and all the press coverage, while we do everything else that's online as far as social media and the website is concerned. And the last one will be other companies that are serving the same target group, but not doing the same thing. For example, email blast companies, buzz analysis or sentiment analysis companies, These are the people that we do partner with, both on the service offering portion as well as on the regional or geographical portion. Yeah, on to the last slide. So that's pretty much the introduction of the company is concerned. These are some of the 3 challenges that we face today. Number one is you do realize that our business is part product and part service. In as much as we like it to be product based, a large part of it is still service based, unfortunately, and we do find that there's a little bit hard skill there. We have built a pretty extensive product before and failed. That kind of chewed through 1/3 of our revenue. So we are a little bit more careful with product development nowadays, and it's more on an opportunistic approach. If let's say 3 or 4 of our clients keep requesting for this feature, then only then we would consider productizing it. The other thing is market education. If you talk about social media, yeah, every brand knows it. Yes, we need to do social media. Please give me a fan page with 100,000 fans. But the customer community portion is still a little bit understood, if I may put it bluntly. So it requires us a lot of effort to tell them why you need a customer community to capture your customers at the end of the day. And of course, the last part of the problem that we always face, as all my fellow entrepreneurs will agree, is the scalability portion. How do we scale sales faster than the manpower required? That's all from my part.
Okay. So, I think you have what I like about your business is that you've got, a fair amount of experience of being in the market. You're working with real customers, you're working with real projects, you're generating revenues and so forth. So in your problem domain, you have presence, you have experience. So I am not terribly bothered about your product versus service question. In fact, what that would help me, if we were to work together, what would help me is I can actually I can give you guidance on how to look at your service portfolio and figure out where the product opportunities are. It's a wonderful practice. We actually have a whole module in the premium curriculum called Bootstrapping Using Services. This is a principle that we believe in, and we actually significantly promote is this philosophy of using services to bootstrap a product business. And it's okay if it's largely a services business for a while, because that takes care of the cash that you need to build a product. So at the moment, based on what we have discussed, I don't have enough visibility into precisely what you are doing in terms of your service engagements. I understand at a value proposition level, at a sector kind of level, but I don't understand at a granular level precisely what you are doing in the services. Now, what I would do if I were to coach you, I would kind of make you zero in on starting to map out what are those services, at a very granular level, what are the services, what are the pieces of the services, and then I would brainstorm with you to figure out where are the product opportunities. And I would put you through a very comprehensive product marketing exercise, which is what we teach in the premium program as well, of how to position products and how to develop a go-to-market strategy for that product. So the good news is you have a service business and you have customers in a certain area of core competency. That's very good news. It gives us a very good starting point to work with you so that you can get to the next level of your business. Now, as far as the market education is concerned, I don't think this is going to be a very big problem. Customers will see value in social media and communities and so forth. The rate at which social media is penetrating society and life in general, consumer life in general, the kinds of segments you are dealing with, market education within the next several quarters is that problem is going to take care of itself. So I think again, go-to-market strategy is something you need to worry about. You need to figure out better on how to sell your services, how to create a sales model, a repeatable sales model, so that you can really get to your customers fast, efficiently, and promptly. Those are things that we can teach you in the 1 million by 1 million premium program. But I think, if you do those pieces right, the market education piece is going to take care of itself. Now, as far as scalability is concerned, okay, if it takes manpower resources, that's fine. In a way, you are operating in a geography that is where manpower is a strength. Labor is relatively inexpensive, and creating specialized expertise, leveraging a low-cost labor pool is a very attractive value proposition. This is how the entire Indian industry has developed itself, right? The Indian IT industry is very large today. How did it develop itself? It developed itself by leveraging a low-cost labor pool and putting specialized expertise on top of that, training that labor pool to deliver on specialized expertise. So I don't see a problem with that either. If you're talking about managing the dichotomy between how much projects you sell and how you staff up projects, those are skill sets you're going to bring in. Those are management skill sets that you're going to need to bring into your organization, and we can talk about those issues in terms of staffing and how do you hire that kind of skill set and so forth, management skills and so forth. But as far as your business model is concerned, the fact that it is a somewhat labor-intensive business model doesn't worry me very much, because you are in a geography where that can be played to your advantage. In fact, you could be doing global business in this field because of that advantage, if you can really package and market and sell that core competency in a significant way. So I'm going to give you a chance to ask one question, and then I'm going to move on to the methodology section, okay?
Sure. So our original intention is to just build a little bit more on the credibility on these three areas, three industry segments, and then go regional. Our original plan is to go, fingers crossed, in 1.5 years to move to Europe, because US kind of, most of these technologies came from US anyway, so we are way behind. We have expanded to China, India, maybe not, so we are looking at Europe as kind of a new market. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
I don't have a problem with your going after Europe. I even don't have a problem with your going after Asia. Depending on Asia is very big right now as an emerging market. Indonesia is growing really well. It's right in your backwater. Turkey is growing really well. Latin America is growing really well. You have lots of choices. So this is not an off-the-cuff decision that I would make. It's a decision that requires, as I said earlier to the other presenters as well, you need to do some comparative analysis. Whatever market, Europe is a very big market. There are language issues in those markets. Can you handle French applications, or can you handle French social media work? Can you handle only English-speaking work? In which case you're going to have to go to UK. So there are lots of questions that you need to answer to be able to figure out that strategy. And again, I would like to put you through a systematic positioning exercise and go to markets exercise so that you answer those questions in a systematic way and define your strategy based on proper methodology, as opposed to trying to make these decisions off the cuff. In 1 million by 1 million, I will never give you off the cuff answers. I'm going to make you follow the methodology, do the right analysis, right comparative positioning, right market strategy analysis, and then decide on these. These are critical business decisions. You don't make those decisions off the cuff. Okay?
Okay, fully understand. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, so going forward, I'm going to talk more about the 1 million by 1 million methodology and the program and so forth. But audience, you have listened to 5 presentations today. And we have a Facebook poll set up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/1my1m. We would appreciate if you go and vote there for your favorite company. And the poll will remain open. We'll announce the results of the poll on Friday morning, California time. So you have lots of time to drum up interest in amongst your friends and peers and family members to come and vote for you. And let's see how much marketing you can do, and we'll see who wins the poll. So we'll publish the results. Check the blog for the results on Friday morning. All right, let me talk a little bit about the methodology that we use in 1 million by 1 million, and it's based on the Entrepreneur Journey series of case studies. These case studies have been developed over the last 6 years. I have been interviewing entrepreneurs for over 6 years to develop the fundamental foundation of the 1 million by 1 million program. And in this 10-minute sneak preview, what I'm going to refer to when I talk about case studies are going to be to the books, the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. But if you're working with the premium program, you don't need the books because all the case studies are in the premium program available online. So one of the fundamental underpinnings of the program is that there are many more 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million ideas than $500 million ideas. And some of you perhaps remember from the keynote that I gave at your conference last November, where I talked about the fact that somehow or the other in Silicon Valley, we've made this mistake of every entrepreneur kind of equating entrepreneurship with financing. Before thinking about customers, before thinking about product, before thinking about revenues, profits, they think about financing. In my opinion, this is a huge mistake because financing, especially higher order venture financing kind of capital, is only available to very large business ideas. The smaller, more niche business ideas have to be financed, either self-financed or financed with small amounts of friends, family money or small amounts of angel money. And as a result, you often lose sight of many, many opportunities. There are very few really large opportunities that are of the $500 million, $1 billion range. But there are many more smaller opportunities, and we, at least in 1 million by 1 million, we strongly encourage entrepreneurs to work on these niche opportunities because you can build wonderful niche businesses, very profitable niche businesses that could be $10 million businesses, $20 million businesses, $5 million businesses, and very profitable. So we at least do not believe that there is any reason for you to not focus on some of the niche opportunities that you're going to see. And especially in emerging markets like Malaysia, there are lots of gaps in the niches. There are lots of opportunities for you to build great businesses in the niches. So what I'm going to show you right now is material that you can use to self-teach. You can also point, fellow entrepreneurs to this material. And I'm going to refer largely to the book series when I refer to case studies. So the first volume of Entrepreneur Journeys, my goal was to give you a set of a dozen case studies which really demystifies entrepreneurship. I have been in Silicon Valley for about 16 years, and there's a level of tribal knowledge that floats around in Silicon Valley that has not been institutionalized. And this tribal knowledge is basically in the heads of entrepreneurs. Lots of experienced entrepreneurs, investors, angels, people have this knowledge sitting in their heads. And nobody has bothered to take that tribal knowledge and put it together in a way that it starts to build a methodology and a portable education system through which entrepreneurs around the world can learn the nuances of technology entrepreneurship. That's what we have done. In 1 million by 1 million, that is what we have done. And it began with the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. The first volume of Entrepreneur Journeys was published in the fall of 2008, in September 2008. That was the first step in this direction, and the 1 million by 1 million program came after that. So the philosophy of the program and the philosophy of the case studies is how to craft a business. All these entrepreneurs have shared gory details of how they've built their businesses, what strategies they've followed, and it's extremely powerful. It's not just me teaching you entrepreneurship. It is hundreds of entrepreneurs teaching you entrepreneurship, their lessons from the trenches, their experience of doing strategy for different ventures and different sectors and with different nuances. We can't teach you how to be lucky. We can teach you how to build a business block by block. And that's the 1 million by 1 million program, is to teach you block by block with video lectures and case studies how you can put one step before the other and build a successful business, following methodology that entrepreneurs before you have followed. Entrepreneurs, largely taken from the American market, but I also have case studies in there from some of the emerging markets as well as Europe and Latin America. So bootstrapping is a core philosophy of our program. Anytime you come to ask me about raising money, I'm going to first explore with you all the bootstrapping options so that you don't have to go out to raise money unprepared. We want to make sure that you do as much validation as possible early on with the complete knowledge that unvalidated businesses are largely not financeable. So in the 1 million by 1 million program, as you follow our methodology, you're going to get accustomed. You're going to have to get accustomed to the notion and the philosophy of bootstrapping. And validation is key. Validation comes in at different levels. You get customer validation, then you get business model validation, you get pricing model validation. There's all sorts of margin validation. There's all sorts of tiers of validation, and every tier of validation that you cross, your valuation goes up. And that's something that we are going to teach you through the program, is to be very disciplined about validation. And we're going to give you case studies of how to validate your businesses, teach you, again, the details of validation methodology. Just some pointers. In Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 2, you will find Right Now, which is a good case study for validation. Ocarina and Webify are also good case studies you could look at. And then we have in Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 3, which is positioning, how to test, validate, and bring your idea to market. That's another 16 case studies that focus entirely on positioning and go-to-market strategy and validation, with the core philosophy that we do not believe in spray and pray. Spray and pray is a terminology that I use all the time to tell people who come and say that, oh, we're going to do this, that, and other. We're going to go after that market and that market and that market. Some of you today have exhibited this spray and pray behavior, unfortunately. You've told me that you're going to go after Europe. Well, going after Europe doesn't mean anything. Europe is a very, very large market. You have to decide on what part of Europe, what country in Europe, what segment in Europe. There's all sorts of decisions you have to make before you can actually go into a market. Some of you say we're going to go for a global. Now we're going to bring this product to market globally. What is globally? You don't bring any product to market globally. You bring products to market by market, segment by segment. And we try to get you as granularly focused as possible using our positioning methodology. So the book is going to give you some amount of material. In the premium program, you have an extensive module, including lots of video lectures and lots of case studies of the topic of positioning. It's one of the areas that we really emphasize on very, very strongly. Just a couple of case studies to give you a preview into the program, a couple case studies that you could look at in Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 3. One is PayCycle, which is a B2B case study. It's a SaaS company. And then The Find is a B2C case study. it's one of the top product search engines online today for lifestyle shopping. But in general, all the EJ3 case studies deal with positioning in some form or the other, and really the positioning module in the premium lounge is superb, and it's going to pretty much get you to a certain level of sophistication in terms of your business that I would like you to get to before you go spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of resources spraying and praying. Clarify Your Story is the appendix of Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 3. Now, Clarify Your Story is an extensive framework of questions, the kind of questions that you need to answer in bringing your product to market. It is based on my 10 years of consulting. I've made a lot of money helping clients answer these kinds of questions. And I make that framework available to you so that you can go through it and try to answer those questions. Now, I've got a lot of feedback on Clarify Your Story, and long before I started developing the 1 million by 1 million premium curriculum, a lot of people came and told me that Clarify Your Story is really hard. Yes, Clarify Your Story is really hard because these are the kinds of questions that determine success or failure in your business. This is the core business strategy. And, you know, companies pay millions of dollars to consultants and to, you know, large firms like McKinsey and Bain to answer these questions. So it is no surprise that you find it difficult to answer these questions, but this is where the curriculum actually came, the premium curriculum came about, because I realized that a lot of people cannot answer these questions on their own. So I decided to create the curriculum so that you can learn how to answer these questions based on the curriculum. Now, the fourth volume of Entrepreneur Journeys is Innovation Need of the Hour, and this is specifically focused on addressing a lot of the issues with the innovation ecosystem, given that funding has dried up for projects that need a lot of R&D work upfront. So I've dealt with ways to circumnavigate some of these kinds of issues and challenges. And remember, venture capital is not the only option. We explore a lot of creative financing. We do a lot of alternative financing types of deals, and so on and so forth. So it's, again, a volume that you may want to pick up if you're trying to explore those issues. Other useful frameworks, the Web 3.0 framework is very important because many of you today are building web businesses. You know, by the end of this decade, we're going to have probably about 5 billion people online. So we're going to be building huge numbers of web businesses. So the Web 3.0 framework is a framework that I published in 2007. It is widely cited. Wikipedia cites it, and all sorts of places have, you know, covered this particular framework. And I've published extensively on the topic. And in the premium curriculum, you'll find a whole module dedicated to Web 3.0 and e-commerce, which I believe is going to be one of the areas where we're going to have one of the largest volume of entrepreneurs around the world. Bootstrapping using services, we talked about it a little bit during the presentation. It's a core philosophy of our program. A couple of case studies you may want to look at are Bootstrapping to Billions in Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 1 and Free to Innovate in Volume 4. But in the Bootstrapping using services module of the curriculum, we have extensive treatment and lots of case studies on this topic. We recommend open source go-to-market strategies because they're conducive to bootstrapping. DimDim is a good case study in Volume 3, and there are 3 others in Volume 4, and then there are many more in the premium lounge. So definitely consider it if you're doing a technology product, a software product of some sort, maybe a software as a service product, and it lends itself to an open source go-to-market strategy. Definitely it's worth considering. So in terms of resources, all the books are available on Amazon and Kindle. The books are Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 1, Bootstrapping Weapon of Mass Reconstruction, Positioning, How to Test, Validate, and Bring Your Idea to Market, and Innovation Need of the Hour. I also have a book called Vision India 2020, which is primarily looking at India and business opportunities as they pertain to India. And there are $45 billion business ideas written as if we are sitting in 2020 and we've built these businesses and they have detailed strategic nuances. Every single business idea is mapped out with all the strategy details as if we have executed on them and built these companies. Now, the reason it may be actually quite relevant for you in Malaysia is because a lot of the dynamics of the Indian market and the Malaysian market and many other developing markets, whether it's Africa or Latin America or Eastern Europe, actually are very similar. So you could potentially pick up Vision India 2020 and take some of these business ideas and apply them to Malaysia, and it would still work just fine. So Vision India 2020 also has its own independent module in the premium curriculum. So you can pick up one of those ideas from the curriculum and start implementing for Malaysia. That would also work fine, or anywhere else, Indonesia, Philippines, wherever it makes sense, and wherever you are located or you want to be located, that would work fine too. China. So in terms of exploration, a good place for you to start is SramanaMitra.com. That's my blog. These strategy roundtables happen every week, except this coming 2 weeks, I'm doing live roundtables traveling in India. We'll talk about that. I'll give you the dates and everything a bit later. Now I want to spend a few minutes talking more comprehensively about the 1 million by 1 million premium program. The premium program is a $1,000 annual membership fee, and MAD Incubator will be reselling the program. So part of the partnership that we announced today is that MAD is going to be a local representative value-added reseller for the program, and you can buy the program through them. It is a completely virtual program, and it's a combination of a methodology which basically is framed on lean, capital efficient, bootstrapped entrepreneurship. And within that $1,000 annual membership fee, you get extensive methodology guidance. You get a premium curriculum, which is a combination of video lectures and case studies. You get business development support, access to customers, channel partners, including extensive access to Silicon Valley. You get strategy consulting in private roundtables. It's the same format as what you are experiencing here in the public roundtable, but we have private roundtables and strategy sessions. And where appropriate, investor introductions as well, but with the caveat that we only introduce you to investors if you have a chance of succeeding. Because please understand that only less than 1% of the companies who go out to seek funding succeed. Over 99% get rejected, and we don't want you to go unprepared to investors. So this program is in many ways a prep school for everything else that you're going to be doing. You may be going to investors. You can use this as a prep school to go to investors. Maybe you want to apply to Y Combinator or an incubator in the United States. Well, use this as a prep school so that by the time you apply, you are prepared to succeed and not just get rejected like everybody else is getting rejected, because over 99% rejection rate does not play in your favor unless you go with adequate preparation. And of course, venture capital is a whole other ballgame. If you're trying to go after VCs, I don't even want you to think about going to VCs without doing extensive preparation up front. So all these services are available to you as part of the $1,000 fee in an unlimited capacity. So we talked about curriculum. We talked about private roundtables. Inside the curriculum, as I've told you, we have case studies of several hundred successful entrepreneurs. Combination of video lectures and in the video lectures, I have synthesized the case studies I've given you the case studies themselves. I've given you lecture modules which synthesizes the lessons from those case studies and gives you a methodology to work within. And we focus on early stage lean startups, technology and technology-enabled services businesses only. We deal with lots of outsourcing companies, services companies, but everything in some way, shape, or form to deal with technology and online entrepreneurs. And the program is completely virtual. You don't have to move to Silicon Valley to be able to plug into this Silicon Valley program. It's designed so that remote geographies that are far from Silicon Valley can learn Silicon Valley methodology, can plug into Silicon Valley channels, can get the benefit of the tribal knowledge of Silicon Valley that I talked about earlier. In terms of the modules inside the curriculum, we have a core curriculum and an elective curriculum. So if you join the premium program, I'm going to suggest that you very quickly get up to speed with the first 7 core curriculum modules, and that includes bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. So once you get through the core curriculum, you have the option of a bunch of electives. Depending on what industry you're building your business in, you can zero in on the elective module that applies to you. And the electives include Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting. This is the whole services portfolio. Vision India 2020 is an elective module that you may choose to study as well. Mobile and social apps is a category that we deal with extensively. Healthcare IT is a very big trend, and we deal with that in a specific elective curriculum. And online education, the kinds of businesses you were presenting to me today, like the MathQuest business, I am very interested in that category. And in the online education and the mobile and social apps electives, you'll find lots of very specific guidance on those kinds of businesses. And then we have another 4 elective modules coming that are under development. One is gaming, another is clean tech, and then there's semiconductor and EDA and systems. These modules are not complete yet. Then you have, within those case studies and lecture modules, you have the ability to ask me questions. So I will, as and when questions come up in the context of what you're studying, I will be available to answer those questions. And you also have a discussion forum. If you have other questions that I've not dealt with in the curriculum modules, we will deal with it in the discussion forum. Feel free to open up a thread in the discussion forum, and we can talk about that there. And gradually, I will build curriculum modules on those questions as well. We do in extensive PR for our companies. I have a tremendous channel. I have syndicated columns. I have a lot of credibility in the market as an analyst. We have a big blog that is widely regarded around the world by journalists and analysts. So our companies get a tremendous amount of PR through our Incubation Radar series, Deal Radar series, as well as my syndicated columns. And then, of course, we do a lot of investor introductions as well as customer and channel partner introductions. So that's pretty much the summary of the 1 million by 1 million premium program. We have, if you go to the blog and, actually this site, the URL that's on your screen right now, 1m1m.sramanamitra.com, you will find testimonials, you'll find links to press releases, you'll find FAQs, you have a whole page called What to Expect from the Premium Program. You can study that. You can ask questions from Andrew, who's local in Malaysia and will be able to answer your questions. Andrew has been working with us for over a year and is quite familiar with the program. And then, you can ask me questions. So I really think that many of you are working on very interesting businesses, and you are faced with incredibly interesting business opportunities because of where you are in an emerging market and an upcoming geography. both local opportunities as well as opportunities to bring your products and services to the global market using certain cost structure advantages and so on and so forth. You can play all sorts of positioning games using that cost structure and really arbitrage the pricing structures of the Western market. So the opportunities are very significant. And my vision is that using the 1 million by 1 million program, we can help the Malaysian entrepreneurship development ecosystem groom at the base level a very large number of entrepreneurs. Whether it's thousands of entrepreneurs or tens of thousands of entrepreneurs over this decade, there is this opportunity of building a large number of entrepreneurs who have a very good basic understanding of what technology entrepreneurship is, how technology entrepreneurs have brought products to market, and how you can do it, and then evaluate your options on what segment are you going to play in. Those of you who have already cast your bet and have already started executing on a business, great. You learn the mechanics of how to build that business with us. But there are many of you out there who are aspiring entrepreneurs. Maybe you have a job, maybe you're a student and you're starting to think about becoming an entrepreneur. If you put yourself through the 1 million by 1 million premium curriculum, at your earliest, you will start off at a much higher level of knowledge and understanding of early stage entrepreneurship than you would without this basis. So everybody in the ecosystem, the incubators, the angel investors, the VCs, the other entrepreneurship development organizations, it is my request to you that you use the curriculum, you use the premium program, and use the channel into Silicon Valley so that we can help you bring your ecosystem, your country, your region up to speed with what we have learned in Silicon Valley in a very, very systematic, very structured basis. This is the goal, this is the vision of the partnership that we are announcing today, to focus on Malaysia as a major entrepreneurship destination. And the 1 million by 1 million program, I hope, is going to help your ecosystem groom a large number of Malaysian entrepreneurs and help them become successful. So that's pretty much all as far as the formal presentation is concerned. I'm going to thank a few of our partners and then open up the group chat where you can insert your questions, and I will take audience questions in just a minute. So while you are putting in your questions in the group chat, let me also take the time to thank all our partners around the world. The 1 million by 1 million program is only possible in partnership with lots of other entrepreneurship development organizations, whether it's incubators, angel investors, TIE, which is a global entrepreneurship development organization, and various other players in the ecosystem who are trying to make the startup business more thriving, more successful around the world, because the economic development is incredible in the business that we are trying to facilitate. So you see a lot of logos on your screen. ReadWrite Web is a media partner of 1 million by 1 million. Indian Angel Network is an angel group in India. Tech Coast Angels is an angel group in California. Various TIE chapters. We work with probably over a dozen TIE chapters in different parts of the world. We work with the MIT Club of Northern California, which is my alumni association in California. MAD, of course, we just deepened our partnership with MAD to a next level of depth. Your Story is a media partner in India, so on and so forth. Microsoft BizSpark is a new partner that we've just brought on board, and we are doing a Microsoft Startup Challenge in India, India Startup Challenge. It's a $100,000 grant that 1 million by 1 million is working with Microsoft on. And I'm actually traveling to India tomorrow to do 3 live roundtables in 3 different cities, Chennai, Pune, and Mumbai. And this is in collaboration with Microsoft as well as a number of Indian entrepreneurship development organizations. So here are the details of the Microsoft BizSpark India Challenge Grant. And the 2 areas we are looking at are mobile and cloud. And the first prize is 40,000 and the second prize is 10,000 in each category. So the in-person roundtables are on Saturday, April 9th. I will be in Chennai. On April 16th, I'll be in Mumbai. And this is a Thai Mumbai and Indian Angel Network hosted roundtable in collaboration with Microsoft. Actually, representatives from Microsoft are going to be present with me to look at the deals. And on April 17th, we are working with Persistent Systems in Pune for the 3rd roundtable. And then I will be back in the US on the 19th, and we are going to resume our regular online roundtable schedule on April 21st, focusing on Northeastern United States and New York. And April 28th will be the US mountain states, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and so forth. So let's, if you have questions, I can open up my public chat and take your questions. And the people in the MAD incubator, if you want to ask questions on your audio bridge, that would be fine as well.
Sramana, there's no questions.
Okay. Okay. If there are no questions, then we are going to. Can you mute the line, please? Can you mute the? If there are no questions from the audience, then we're going to wrap up for today. And I look forward to working with many of you in the premium program and bringing you into the different channels and programs that we are putting in place. You know, we are trying to connect every possible dot that we can for the 1 million by 1 million entrepreneurs. And you know, there are lots of supporters of the program. You know, over the last over 2 years, actually, we have done 77 roundtables. Over 5,000 people have attended these roundtables, and I've personally coached over 300 entrepreneurs. So this program has been going for a while. We've learned a lot about your needs, the entrepreneurs' needs from this program, and we continue to enhance the program with lots of more features and functions, and we have lots of requests from you, and it is my commitment that we will do everything in our power to enhance the program and make it as rich as possible, and we will continue to invest in the program so that at the end of the day, our entrepreneurs get as much value out of this program as possible. And we've tried to keep the pricing of the premium program very low so that you know, it's affordable for a much larger you know, mass of entrepreneurs anywhere in the world. So that's all I have to say today. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending, and thanks to our technology partners, VView, who offered this wonderful video conferencing system. And don't forget to vote on the Facebook page. And finally, thanks to Matt Incubator for hosting the event today. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you.
See you. Thanks, Sramana.